Hi, this is Rose McDonough, and I am a retired family and consumer science teacher, and I am a lover of the Instant Pot. I understand not everyone likes it. My sister-in-law mentioned to me that, 30 some years ago, she knew somebody whose pressure cooker exploded and the woman was killed, and so she would never use it. That's not what's going to happen. I don't even know how that one happened, except for obviously the lock didn't work. But with this one, the lock works and you don't have to worry about it. Now, last week, after I convinced my niece to buy one, she texted me several times asking me questions because she wanted to do the potato salad that I have done before, and was asking me questions actually about the front of it and what was happening. And I thought, you know what? Maybe somebody needs to be walking through it so that they're not afraid. So today, that's what I want to do, something really simple. Frozen broccoli. Why would you use a frozen broccoli when it clearly says it can be steamed and put into your microwave? Because every time I put it in the microwave, I still have a hot spot here and there along the way. And I don't like hot spots along the way. I like it to be hot the whole way, not hot here and cold there. So I like to do mine in the Instant Pot, which takes a few minutes to pressurize, and then I set it for 0. Yes, actually 0. Now this is frozen broccoli. You need to do about 4 minutes, 6 minutes if you have fresh broccoli. And what are we going to put it in? Well, my niece said to me, I only have this thing. What am I going to do? I said, put some aluminum foil on around it. She said, do I need to put holes in it? Well, no, because this fits in, and when it fits in, it's loose in here. So the steam's still going to get around. So no, you don't have to do that. She said, I don't have one of those things that you have. Well, start looking at some garage sales. Go on Amazon, go somewhere, get one of these. These are great to have, and they have the feet on them. So with the feet on them, it keeps them up off the bottom. But I also happen to have this thing. I don't even know where I got this. It has handles on it, and the handles always fall off. So I can just put them in here. Put it on here, raises it up, and I can lift it off. If you don't have that ability, you can always do a sling. And so you use your aluminum foil and you put it in, and it goes just in like this and down. And when you're finished, you can lift out. So I'm going to use this. Why? Simply because it's the easiest thing that I have here to clean. And I'm all about making my life easier. So I'm obviously going to use my scissors. I'm going to open this up. They're frozen solid. I just pulled them out. And before I put them in, or after, I need 1 cup of water. So I'm going to just drop this in right here. And then I'm going to get my cup of water. Never try doing it with less than 1/2 cup, but a cup of water is best. Pour the water in, and we're ready to get started. All right, so now I'm going to plug it in. And when I plug it in, make sure the back, if you don't notice it coming on for some reason, check and make sure you have it plugged in all the way to the back. And I have all of my buttons over here. I'm going to put my lid on. I just love this noise. And I'm going to close the vent. Sometimes you leave the vent open, but I'm closing the vent. And how do you know? Because you look up there and it tells you that it's going to close. I'm also going to tell you that as it's pressurizing, this little silver button will pop all the way up just like it is now. That means it is pressurized. You'll hear it kind of going up and down a little bit as it's doing its thing, but that's another way for you to know it's pressurized. So it's closed because it tells you open and close on here. Close, vented, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to put it on pressure cook. I want it to be on high pressure. So I'm just going to press pressure all the way until I get more. And now I'm going to do the minus button down to 0. It's not going to do anything for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, it starts to beep a second to say, okay, we're actually starting now. There you go. Maybe it wasn't 30 seconds, but I think that's about how long it is. And you can tell. It has a little sign over here that's telling you it's heating up and it's pressurizing. As it pressurizes, you don't see anything but the word on. Once it's pressurized, then it clicks, you'll hear it, it'll beep, and it'll actually say that it is now starting to count down. So if we would have put 12 minutes on there, or I was doing hard-cooked eggs, as I've done before, and I do those 12 minutes on low pressure. It pressurizes, and then beep, and then it goes and it switches over to the 12 minutes and it starts counting backwards. So we don't have to worry about anything. It doesn't take a whole long time, but it's frozen broccoli, so it's very cold, so it's going to take more time for this to pressurize. The more that you have in there, the colder your ingredients are, the longer it takes to pressurize, if that makes any sense. Now, someone else asked me about how do I know if 4 minutes or 6 minutes is enough? You have to realize that as it's pressurizing, if it's already warm in there, it's starting to cook. So just count on that. I don't know. You've seen any of my books before. I have this book here that I have used. Instant Pot Cookbook, 500 recipes. Here's the recipes I like to use. I've got them all marked. It's so weird. But I don't just do that. I write everywhere. Frozen broccoli, steam with 1 cup of water, 0 minutes. I have a note there. As I'm working on other ingredients, I put notes in. I didn't like it, that was. Oh, I wanted to switch that one to manual pressure, 70 minutes, natural release 10. I followed what it said, but it wasn't so great for me. My friend Shelly, we were talking the other day, and she said, every time I make something new, I follow the directions the first time, and then after that, she does exactly the same thing. So this book, this was a good book. It was okay. This one comes with it. Oh yeah, this is so cool. The user manual. Isn't it funny how so many people don't like to read the user manual? You know, I once read that if you had to do all the user agreements on the computer that you automatically click and agree to and on your phone and everything, if you actually read it, it would take 4 years of your life to read all those words. Can you imagine? But sometimes you should read. Do not touch hot surfaces of pressure cooker. Use the side handles to carry. Well, okay, you don't need to read all that stuff. Oh, don't put your face over it. Now that's pretty important to know. When you are steaming this, I always put a towel over top of it that I normally keep right there with it. That's just the normal thing because I don't really have a desire to steam the skin off my face. 3rd-degree burns, although I have aloe, is not my plan. It does take longer for the 8-quart to pressurize than the 6-quart. My niece had also said to me, do you think that the 6-quart's going to be big enough for me because she has a family of 4 girls. Can you imagine? 2 sets of twins? I thought my life was bad. Hers was even crazier. Anyway, that's an aside. Sorry, Amy. Sorry, girls. But I think it will be for everything that she's going to do. So this gives you the overview and all the directions, and this tells you all the plus and minus and anything that you need to do. I've talked to some people and asked, how many buttons do you actually use? They usually use the slow cook, the saute, the pressure cook. I also use the yogurt on here, and I use the rice. I don't use multi-grain porridge. I have used steam. I have used sterilized, but not that often. I sometimes use meat, bean and chili. Never have used that one. I've never tried cake on here, and I don't do egg because I like to do my egg on lower pressure. However, it's really important to me that I had to have one with the yogurt on it because I really enjoy the yogurt that I get from there. Okay, if I would shut up, you would be able to hear. You can hear it starting to go as it's doing its thing. And I think I've been yapping away here for almost 2 minutes at this point, and it still isn't pressurized. I can feel a little bit of heat coming out of here. It's going to maybe take another minute or so before it finishes. Okay, this little thing that comes with it is the coolest thing since sliced bread to come with it. And it tells you all the things. Pressure cooking programs, it's off, then you close the lid, turn steam release handle to sealing, press pressure level to adjust, that's optional, you don't have to do that. Press the program key if you want to do that, and then it'll be on, just like you see it now. If you're sauteing, you can do it on low, you can do it on a high, and then it goes to it's getting hot. So if you're not sure, go ahead and use this to help you talk yourself through it. I know it gets scary to use something for the first time. Think about how somebody my age felt the first time I used a computer, or the first time I had my iPhone, or 2 weeks ago, the first time I used a handgun and I had to load the clip or the magazine or whatever those words are and put that in and go. It is scary. I totally understand, but you got to try something new every once in a while. Okay, so it beeped off. And right now you can see it has the little heating sign on, which means it's keeping warm at this point. I'm going to hit cancel. Once I hit cancel, it's going to stop heating up, and now I want to quick release it. I need to grab a towel because, as I said, it's going to start steaming, but I want you to be able to see how crazy it is when it first starts out. And the fact that I cannot move this is locked. Don't be afraid. It's not going to come undone until all of that steams out. And because I don't want to have all that water steam, Mark, you can smell broccoli. Because I don't want to have all that on my ceiling, I'm just going to put a towel over top of it and just let that catch the moisture. How long does this take? I can't tell you how long this takes. It takes several minutes for it to come down depending on how hot it was. If you have a lot of stuff in there, it's going to take longer. Let me show you. Again, the lid is not going to move. There's no way it's going to move. It is pressurized entirely too much. So sometimes it'll show you what it'll be doing. It's the boiling. It shows you a boiling on here. It shows you each of the symbols so you know what those mean, just to make it a little bit less frightening as you're working on it. I've pulled the plug on it. I don't need the plug to be on it anymore. I'm just going to keep letting it go. I'm going to pull this off and see, are we close? I don't know. We could be. I'm actually going to put my pot holder on to give it a try. Reach up here. It's loose, but it's not opening, which means it's still steaming too much. This is the safety guard. You do not have to be afraid. And I just heard it go, and I can take it off. And you can see, poof, there goes the steam right out the top of it. Now, I happen to have the side over here that I can put this on. Please remember, if you put this on, don't pick it up and carry it around, because this is heavy, really heavy, and you don't want to accidentally knock it down. But for right now, I'm going to put it on the side because I want to be able to work with it. It's steamy in there. It's so steamy. And as I pull this out, put it here on the side, and I lay my broccoli out. Yeah, sure, it took a little bit longer than if I would have done it in the microwave. But you can see it steaming. I know you can see it steaming. It's hot. There's no cold spots. There's no issue, and it's just perfect and it's beautiful. This was a small bag. Usually I use about maybe 1.5 times that, and it doesn't even look any different. It always looks same beautiful color. Again, depending on how much you have in there is what it's going to be. You see how my fork went through? It's beautiful and it's tender. So maybe you didn't want to have it this way. Maybe you want it to be a little less tender than this. Then you don't have to use that cup of water. You can use 1/2 of a cup of water. But it's beautiful. You have it, why not use it? It makes it perfect. All right, so that's it. How simple is it for you to use your Instant Pot? So let me see who I'm pulling out here for a shout out today. Hey, Emily Tilden. Emily Tilden, she and her husband own Instant Imprints out in Cranberry. And I can't remember, I think it was the book that I read that she had mentioned that it was one of her son's favorite books when he was little. And, oh, I'm pulling out more than one, so let me go with Maggie. Maggie Gobridge. Hey, Maggie made the pretzels. And she messaged me that she did, and she rolled them in cinnamon and sugar because all she had was vanilla yogurt. But that's okay. Maggie, thank you. Thank you for connecting back with me and, you know, giving a try to some of the stuff that I do. So enjoy your evening, whatever it is. Like, subscribe, ring a bell. I don't really care what you do. I'm up to 97. Come on now, I need to get 100. I need a few more subscribers. And use your Instant Pot. Have a good night. Thanks.